Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
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 Good evening.
Sir.
Request all of you to switch on the video.
Good evening, sir.
I'll take the attendance and then we can start. Sony, Alkesh. Sony. Yeah, thank you. Just hold on. Okay, you can switch off now. Yeah, so today's topic is on the Payment of Gratuity Act, and it was enacted in the year 1972. This Payment of Gratuity Act is concerned that this is applicable across India, and this Payment of Gratuity is also having a central rules. Those central rules are applicable only to the central government undertaking, and in addition to that, even each state also will be having a separate Payment of Gratuity rules. Those rules are applicable to all the state government undertaking and also to the private sector, industries. And the main objective of the act is to provide social security to the employees after their retirement. This is one of the objective, and also to act as a social security registration to the wage earning population in industries or establishment. So there is another objective, and also the gratuity is being given as a reward for those workers who have served for a longer period of time as faithful employees. So that is another objective, and also the government. So why they have enacted this particular act means they wanted to impose a statutory liability upon the employer to provide payment to employees when they suffer from any physical disability or death due to the disease or the accident arising out of work. So that means they wanted to, the government wanted to just to create a liability, statutory liability upon the employer to provide the payment to the employees when they met with an accident during the course of employment, and also in case of death of an employee. So nominee also should get the benefit. So with that intention, so this act has come into the force and in India. And the applicability is concerned. So this is, as I told you, it extends to whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. So it extends to whole of India, and also it is applicable to all the factories and even the mines. Mines also it's applicable, and even the oil fields. So it's applicable, and even the plantations it is applicable, and even the ports. So it is applicable, and also any shops and such class of establishment which employs more than 10 workers. That is any factory, mines, oil field, plantations, ports, and other shops or any other establishment which employs more than 10 workers, then automatically this act becomes the applicable. 10 members are enough. So in the immediate preceding 12 months, 10 workers, as and when you exceed, so from that day onwards, this gratuity becomes the applicable. And once it becomes applicable, then you have to give a notice to the controlling authority. Controlling authority means the Deputy Labour Commissioner. You have to give a notice to them in form number A. So one of the form number A, so do you like this? This is the form. Once you cross the number of employees, then you have to submit this particular form A to the controlling authority. So this is the notice of opening. So this we have to submit to the controlling authority. That is the Deputy Labour Commissioner. You have to submit this form to them. So then you will register, and you can same thing. You can also just file it in the separate gratuity file or labor department file. So this is the form A. As and when you cross the 10 or more employees, in such cases, you have to fill up all these form A. So for starting of the gratuity act, and this is the one name and address of the establishment. You have to fill it up. You can put a seal also here. Name and destination of the employer, and the number of persons employed, and the maximum number of persons employed on any day during the preceding 12 months, number of employees covered by the act, nature of industry, what they are manufacturing or what they are rendering service, whether it is seasonal or non-seasonal. So that is also there, whether seasonal or non-seasonal. Seasonal means the factories will be running. So running only for limited period. That is as and when the raw material is available. So those factories will be running. Otherwise, 3-4 months they'll be unemployed. They'll be at home only, but still they'll be getting some retaining allowance as per the agreement. So they'll be getting some retaining allowance. In such case, those industries will be called as the seasonal industry. And non-seasonal means all the 12 months they'll be working. Seasonal means they'll be working for 6 months, 7 months, or 8 months, something like that. So those industries are called as the seasonal employees. Normally in the sugar industry, so whenever the sugar cane is available, so the factory will also be running for 7 months or 8 months or 10 months. Remaining period, they'll be at home. So that's why it's called as seasonal industry. Even the food processing industry, it is all the same thing. And even the seasonal, like a mango. So mango, any pulp is being pulp, mango pulp. So the manufacturing industry, even that industry also will be like a seasonal. Only during season, they'll be running the industry for 3-4 months. Such industries will be called as a seasonal industry. The remaining period, they'll be at home. And also date of opening. So that is the date of opening means the date of starting of the establishment. Also you have to mention it here. And also suppose if you are in any branches or any offices are there, then you have to give the list. The list you have to give it here. Name and address of the head office, name and address of the branches, other branches in India. So you can enclose a separate list. Or if you need 2-3 branches are there, here itself you can mention. Or else you can enclose the list of all the branches which are there in India. And also the verification will be there. I verify that the information furnished above is true to the best of my knowledge and belief. And here you have to put a for seal and also the address seal here. And you have to mention place and day. Then with the covering note, you can submit this letter to Deputy Labour Commissioner. He is the controlling authority. So he'll be acting as a controlling authority under the Payment of Gratuity Act. So you have to send this notice to them. So as and when you cross the more than 10 employees. This is one of the statutory requirement under the Payment of Gratuity Act. And also gratuity. So the gratuity is nothing but the amount being paid to the employee or reward being paid to the paid to the employee for the meritorious service rendered by an employee. That is the simple meaning of a gratuity. And also sometimes they'll also be calling it as a gift given to the employee for the long service rendered by the employee. And also it is being given as a token of appreciation. So our long service rendered by the employee as a token of appreciation, the gratuity amount will be given. And also some of the definitions are also there. Definitions, that is appropriate government for the central government undertaking. So and also the port, mines, railways, and all that, even the oil fields. So central government is the authority for them because they are all coming under the purview of per year for the central government. So that's why, so they'll be coming under the central government. That is the appropriate government for these industries. That like a oil field or any mines, railways. So they'll be coming under central government only. So then, so the central government is the appropriate government to decide anything about the gratuity. In other cases, other than the central government undertaking, like a private sector employees and the state government undertaking, automatically the state government will be the appropriate government. So that is the simple definition of a appropriate government. So only these central government undertaking and also the oil fields, ports, mines, railways, they'll be coming under central government, and all other cases will be they will be coming under state government. And also the completed years of service. Complete years service means the person who has completed more than 240 days in a year. More than 240 days in a year. So he'll be, so more than 240 days in a year. So there'll be 240 days in a year. If he has completed, then it will be considered as 1 year. 240 days is compulsory. Suppose if any person is not completed 240 days in a particular year, for that particular year, he is not entitled for a gratuity. So that's why one should have completed more than 240 days in a year. Only then he is entitled for a gratuity for that particular year. And employee means all the employees are included. There is no categorization. Employed on wages in a factory, mines, or even the oil fields, and even the railways. All these establishment will be coming under the employees who are working under these establishment. They'll be called as a employee, whether they may be skilled or unskilled or semi-skilled or highly skilled, and even the clerical or the staff members or the managerial staff members. All the persons will be coming under the employee definition. So for the payment of gratuity is concerned. Earlier there was a ceiling limit. Now ceiling limit has been removed. So for the salary is concerned. So now the cap has been the total amount of gratuity cap is there for a tax exemption. Otherwise, only salary used to be there earlier. Now that has been removed. Irrespective of the category, the all the employees will be covered under the payment of the gratuity act. And the family, there is a family definition also here. That means male employee means himself, wife, children, dependent parents, dependent in-laws, and even the children of a pre-deceased the son. So pre-deceased son, and also in case of female employees, herself, husband, children, dependent parents, dependent in-laws, and the children of deceased son. So this is the definition of the family. All these will be considered as a family members only for the purpose of the nominations. And the superannuation means attainment of the age fixed in the contract or the condition of the service at the age at which the employee shall vacate his office. So that is the simple meaning of a superannuation. And the wages means any emolument payable to the employee. So like in cash including DNSLS, but excluding bonus, commission, HRA, overtime wages and the other allowances will not be taken into account. Normally we'll be taking only the basic plus DNS allowance only. That is the only wages you have to take into account. So for the wages is concerned for the purpose of the calculation. அடுத்து I'll show you one of the difference between the voluntary retirement and also superannuation. So one of the compared statement I have prepared here. I'll show you one of the details to you. How it differ from the retirement and also the superannuation. So this is one of the differences listed out. So this is the difference between the voluntary retirement and the superannuation. So you can see definition in the definition itself. So voluntary retirement means early exit from the employment by the employee's choice. And retirement means the end of a person's working life, typically upon reaching a certain age, which is as per the terms of employment. So that is called as a retirement. Whereas the superannuation, it's not like that. A retirement savings plan or fund often mandated or facilitated by the employees. That means superannuation scheme will be there. That is only to save the money to the employee. After retirement, he will be getting the money. So that is the superannuation. That is called as a superannuation. So here, the employees to extend the welfare benefit, they'll also be extending and they'll be extending the superannuation scheme from any of the insurance company. In such cases, they are also entitled for This is not mandatory, superannuation is not mandatory requirement to save the money and all that, but as a welfare measure, employers will be extending this benefit, where they'll be taking an insurance company under the superannuation scheme, they'll be taking from the insurance company, and in case of a retirement or in case of rendering service for a certain year, they are entitled for a pension till the lifetime. Or even the commutation also will be there, where they'll be getting some lump sum money in the superannuation cases. And this voluntary retirement, it will be initiated by the employee himself. That means voluntary retirement. He is voluntarily taking a return from the company. So that is it will be initiated by the employee voluntarily. The management is nothing to do with this. So for this one is concerned, because the employee himself is voluntarily wanted to retire. And the retirement means typically it occurs at a predetermined age or after certain number of years of service. That means, as per the terms of employment, they'll be fixing the retirement age, like a 55 years or 58 years, 60 years, 65 years, as per the order of employment. So they'll be fixing the date. So predetermined date will be there. According to that, he'll be retiring. So that is called as a retirement. And initiated through a savings plan, often supported by employer contribution. So this particular superannuation is concerned, this will be initiated through savings, so and which is supported by the employer contribution by obtaining a policy from any of the insurance company. And the eligibility criteria, usually no specific age, may require certain renewal. So they'll be fixing the eligibility criteria to be entitled for the gratuity. Suppose if normally it will be 5 years only. Suppose if any person has completed more than 5 years, and if he has rendered in the company for 30 years or 25 years or 35 years, for that many years he is entitled for a gratuity, even in case of voluntary retirement, because there is a termination of employment. So he is entitled for a gratuity. And even the retirement, generally specific age, like a 58 years or the 60, and also years of service will be taken into account in case of retirement. And the superannuation means it varies by country, often linked to employment duration or specific age. So while taking the policy from any of the insurance company, they'll be fixing the age. What is the age of superannuation to be entitled for certain benefit, which is being supported by the management. So that is the difference. And the benefit is concerned, it may include severance pay, pension benefits, or other incentive. Suppose if any person has taken a voluntary retirement scheme announced by the management. In such cases, he may, whatever the amount he is getting, that may also include the severance pay, that the notice pay, and the pension benefits or other incentives in case of a voluntary retirement. Whereas in the retirement, pension benefits and the social security are retirement savings only. And the superannuation scheme, it is accumulated savings, which may include employer contribution, employee contribution, and other investment returns. So from the any of the insurance company. So this is the superannuation. And the purpose will be to allow employee to leave the company, purpose to employee to leave the workplace early while receiving the benefits. And the second one is retirement to provide financial support after ceasing to work in the organization. So that is called as the retirement. And voluntary retirement to ensure that employee have saved funds for retirement. So this is the superannuation definition. And also tax retirement. So it varies from the country to country. So for the tax deduction is concerned, and the often tax deferred in case of a retirement, often tax deferred until the funds are withdrawn. That means till you withdraw the retirement amount, whatever the gratuity amount. So till such time, so till such time there will not be any tax. Only upon withdrawal of that is only after claiming of a gratuity. Only in such cases the tax liability will come. That too beyond 20 lakhs only. Up to 20 lakhs tax exemption will be there. Beyond 20 lakhs, so definitely whatever the slab it is applicable, so the accordingly tax will be deducted. Whereas in the superannuation, there is the tax advantage while accumulating funds and also the upon withdrawal. So this is the tax liability will be there. Another the details that is offered in corporate or the government settings, especially the voluntary retirement scheme, You have heard about the BSNL, another BHL, BL, BGML. They have announced the voluntary retirement scheme because they wanted to take out some of the employees. They wanted to cut down the manpower, reduce the manpower. So that's why company will be announcing the voluntary retirement scheme. So in such cases, so they'll be taking a voluntary retirement so that they'll be getting some lump sum amount and also other additional benefit also they'll be getting it. And in case of retirement, it is a common various sectors with formal retirement, the policies as per the policy or the terms of employment or as per the certified standing of the company. So they'll be fixing certain age, like a 55 years, 58 years, or 60 years. Accordingly, the retirement will be done to the employee. In case of a retirement, he will be getting a gratuity after completing a full 5 years of service. And it is common in many countries as a part of employee benefit package. So for the superannuation is concerned, it is a part of package. The company will be investing money on the employee. So this is the difference between the voluntary retirement scheme, retirement, and also the superannuation. So that's why the some of the acts and all that they'll be mentioning this particular superannuation word. And also the wages I was telling you, so that is basic plus DA only will be taken into account. So for the calculation of the gratuity is concerned. And also the once the employee is once the industry is covered under the Gratuity Act, then as an employer you have to obtain nomination from the employee. So nomination to be taken, so that is after completion of 1 year only you can take the nomination. However, so we are having a practice of collecting the nomination at the time of joining itself. So we have to obtain form number F. One of the form is available, so that form you have to obtain. So this is the form we'll be using it for taking up the nomination, and that nomination you have to use it for nomination you have to use it, and you have to take the nomination from concerned the employee. So this is one of the nomination form F will be there, and this form they have to fill it up. So normally you will be taking at the time of induction itself. So as per the act we can take only after 1 year of service. This is the one. So this is one of the form F will be taking nomination form, and you have to enter the details here, name and the father's name and all that. And there is declaration also here. Here they can fill it up, overall the nominees. They can also proportionately distribute. Like a parents, they can mention father 25%, mother 25%, son 25%, daughter 25%. So like that, they can mention the percentage here. Relationship with the employee, age of the nominee, and a proportion by which gratuity will be shared. So they have to mention the percentage here. Suppose if they want, if they know they don't have any parents or they don't have any children, in such cases they can also nominate. In addition to wife, they can also nominate the in-laws. So because family, it also includes the in-laws. So we can mention the details here. And the statement. So the complete details you have to fill it up as an employee, name of the employee, sex you have to mention, religion, whether unmarried, married, or widower, and a department you have to mention, and also what is the destination, and also the token number, and what is the date of joining, and a permanent address you have to mention it here, and he'll be signing. Employee will be signing here. They'll be mentioning the place and the date, and this will be this in front of the witness only he has to sign it. So at least the two witnesses are mandatory when you obtain any nominations. Not only this gratuity nomination, any nomination, two witnesses are mandatorily to be required. Like an agreement, whenever you sign an agreement, witnesses should be there. Otherwise, it will be considered a void agreement, invalid agreement. So that's why two witnesses are required to be there in any of the agreement or in any of the nominations. And here you can take the co-employee, any co-employee from HR department, one person can sign, or his co-worker or friend he can sign in the company. And this copy, so it will be certified by the employer. So after filling up all these details, as an employer, as a factory manager or the occupier, so they can certify for having nominated one of the person as a nominee under the Payment of Gratuity Act. And here the factory manager or the occupier, he will be signing this document, and also if any reference number are there, they can also mention it here. Otherwise, he will be signing and they will be putting a far seal and address seal. And after doing this, then you can take a Xerox copy of this. One copy to be given to the concerned the employee, and another copy will be going to the personal file, or you can file it in a separate file. And this is the acknowledgement. After giving a copy to him, Xerox copy to him, you can take a signature for having handed over the copy to the employee. So one of the nomination form, you have to take a Xerox copy and give it to him after obtaining signature from the employer. And here the employee will be signing for having taken the for having received the acknowledged the nomination of the nomination form. So this is one of the form we'll be using it. And even in case of change of nomination, so form F, so form G, you will have to fill it up. So form G also will do, or else form F also can be taken. So this is the nomination form. You have to take it when you wanted to nominate. So after 1 year only, as per the gratuity, you can take the nomination. Otherwise, so many of the compliers, what they'll be doing, they'll be taking the nomination at the time of joining itself. One of the copy you might have seen, they'll be keeping it in the personal file. They'll be keeping it in the induction kit or joining kit itself. One of the form they'll be putting it, like a form number 25, form I, form F, and also any insurance nominations, and also the insurance or the gratuity nominations, all that. So you'll be keeping it in the induction kit itself, so that you can fill it up. So because HR department may not be remembered after 1 year. So that's why at the time of joining itself, they'll be obtaining the nomination even under the Payment of the Gratuity Act. And also the other details are also there, like a nomination. The employee must appoint a nominee for the purpose of receiving a gratuity in case of death of an employee. And the employee can distribute the gratuity in more than one nominee. Suppose if they are having 4 members in the family, all the 4 members they can distribute according to their will and wish. They can mention the percentage. And also if the employee has a family, then he should nominate any of the family members and not the outsider. For any family members, we can nominate whatever the definition I told you. Accordingly, you can nominate the persons. So nomination can be modified as and when required by the employee, as and when required by the employee. That is, as and when any changes, as and when any changes. So in such cases, they can change the nomination in the part number G. And if the nominee predeceases the employee, he has to make a fresh nomination. That means he has nominated, but the nominee has died. So before the leaving the organization, the nominee has died. In such cases, the employee can nominate some other person. So fresh nomination can be made in part number G. And every change in nomination has to be sent to the employer, which must be kept in a safe custody. Whenever there is a change in the nomination, in such cases, he has to give a copy to the employer, and the employer will be certifying, and he will be giving one copy of the same thing to the employee. And also, for having given the copy to them, then you can take an acknowledgement. So this is the process involved. So for the nomination is concerned under the Payment of the Gratuity Act. And also the continuous service. So I was telling you about the continuous service. So that is, employee shall be in continuous service if he and continuous service, and also in case of for counting of continuous service, even if any uninterrupted service, like including sick leave, sickness leave, or the accident leave, or the any other earned leave, even the earned leave or the layoff, even those days also will be taken into account for counting of number of years of service. Suppose if he is an accident leave, that is the employment injury leave, employment accident, that is industrial accident leave, industrial or employment injury. You can just mention the employment injury only, better word, employment injury leave. So even in such cases, that will be considered as a continuous service only. Even if he has applied for 3 months leave or 4 months leave, so due to employment injury, even in such cases, those days also will be taken into account for counting of 240 days. So even continuity of service will be counted in such cases, whether it is a sickness leave or the employment injury leave or other leave, layoff, strike, like legal strike, and also illegal lockout, Even in such cases, so that will be considered as a continuous service. Even if any woman employee is applying for a maternity leave, even up to 26 weeks, so it is allowed to be taken. 26 days, so they 26 weeks, so they have to take into account so far as the maternity leave is concerned in respect of the woman employees. Up to 26 only, not beyond that. So even those days also will be taken into account for counting of 240 days or the continuous service. And so another one is when an employee is not in continuous service under class 1, he shall be deemed to be a continuous service. That means, suppose if any person is the work he is in the service, but he has absented due to sick leave or the employment injury or any other the employment injury leave or earned leave, maternity leave, layoff, strike and other. In such cases, this shall also be considered as the continuous service only for the purpose of calculation of gratuity. And also the even the Gratuity Act again they have mentioned differently here. That means so suppose if any of the mines is there, mines normally that is below the ground they'll be working. Mines they'll be working below the ground. In such cases, continuous service means 190 days in a 190 days in immediately preceding the previous year. 180 days is enough to be entitled for a gratuity. In all other cases, it is the 240 days. It is mandatory to be considered. So 240 days includes all these days again. So 180 days includes all these days. So this is below ground and this is above ground. To above ground, so these companies will be working. In such cases, so 240 days will be the criteria. And also for the purpose of calculation of gratuity, so the more than 6 months will be considered as a full year. Less than 6 months will be deleted. So this also is mentioned in the Gratuity Act. Suppose if a person has completed 10 years 6 months, that will be considered as 11 years. Suppose if he has worked only for 10 years 4 months, then only 10 years will be considered. So that means less than 6 months will be deleted, omitted, or ignored, and more than 6 months will be considered full year. Suppose if a person has worked for more than 6 months, like a 7 months or 8 months, that will be considered a full year for the purpose of calculation of the gratuity. Not for the entitlement criteria, not for the determination of entitlement. This is only for the calculation of the gratuity will be taking those days into account. And the whatever the days I was telling you, so that is in case of a mine, so at least 95 days in 6 months you should have worked. That will be considered as a that say 95 days, so will be considered as a the year. And in case of a mine, and here 120 days are above, that will be considered as in other cases 120 days in 6 months. Then only that will be considered as a more than 6 months, and that will be considered as a full year. In case of below the ground, 95 days. Above the ground, it is 190 days, 120 days. In any other cases, that is to count the full year. So that will be the criteria. And also payment of gratuity. The gratuity shall be payable to employees if he has rendered full 5 years of service. It's not like 4 years for 10 months and 4 years 240 days. It's not like that. Full initially to be entitled to find out the eligibility criteria. The employee should have worked in a company for full 5 years of continuous service. Only then is entitled for a gratuity. So one of the Madras High Court, they have given the judgment saying that even if a person has completed 4 years and the 10 months in the 5th year, they are entitled for a gratuity. However, there is a High Court judgment. Madras High Court judgment has given the judgment. So this particular the gratuity case, they have very clearly mentioned, saying that if any person has completed 4 years and the 240 days or the 10 months in the 5th year, they are entitled for a gratuity. However, that particular thing is not being considered because it is not a Supreme Court judgment. Had it been a Supreme Court judgment, that judgment would have that becomes the law. So everyone would have implemented. However, this is a High Court so judgment, so there will not be that much weightage. That's why none of the employers are considering. Only very limited members will be considering that particular judgment. So since it is not a Supreme Court judgment. So this is one of the judgment. In the year 1998 itself, so labor law reporter, it was reported, and this is the case law. That is the Mettur Bedshell Limited versus Regional Labour Commissioner. So this is the case law. Was the case that this particular company has filed. So that is the Mettur Bedshell, the contestant, So in such cases, the court gets given the judgment saying that an employee rendering continuous service for a period of 240 days in a year will be deemed to be continued in the services for 1 year as stipulated by Section 2A of the Act. Thus, an employee who has completely put in service for 10 months and 18 days for the 5th year subsequent to the first 4 years should be deemed to have completed continuous service of 5 years. Hence, his claim for gratuity is tenable. That means tenable means to be considered. That is what the Madras High Court judgment way back. But this is only a High Court judgment. That's why nobody is implementing it. Only very limited members companies are implementing it as a welfare measure. Otherwise, so almost 99% of the companies they are not implementing this, since it is not a Supreme Court judgment. So this is one of the judgment. So we have to see. And you can claim. If you want to claim, you can claim. But only thing is you have to approach the controlling authority. If at all, if you want to raise any dispute in this regard, we can approach the controlling authority. That is the Deputy Legal Commissioner is the authority under the Act. And the payment of gratuity. So this payment of gratuity is concerned, it will be paid, as I told you, during superannuation or the resignation or retirement or on his death or permanent disablement. Even if any person met with an accident and he is permanently disabled, that is, he is unable to report for duty permanently and he will be at home only. He is unable to do. So in such cases, even he is entitled for a gratuity, even if he has completed only 1 year of service. In case of a death and the permanent disablement, it is the 1 year only. The 1 year is enough to be entitled for a gratuity. In all other cases, full 5 years of service is required to be done. Only then they are entitled for a gratuity, except in case of a retirement and also in case of a permanent disablement. In case of a not in case of a retirement, in case of a death and the permanent disablement, so 1 year is enough to be entitled for a gratuity. That means 1 year only will be calculated in the gratuity, not for full 5 years or the remaining years of service. Only 1 year if has completed. After that, if has died due to employment injury or in case of a death of an employee or permanent disablement, in such cases, so the nominee will be getting the gratuity amount in case of a death of an employee. And also the same employee, if he met with an accident, he is unable to come for duty permanently. In such cases, so amount will be given to this particular disabled employee only. So this is one of the method being used. And also the gratuity calculation formula is also there. So I will be explaining in the subsequent slide. And also there is a limit. The gratuity limit is also there. Gratuity payable shall not exceed 20 lakh rupees. Suppose if the amount comes to around 25 lakh rupees after calculating, but employer is under the obligation to pay only up to 20 lakh rupees. Not beyond that. If they want to give, they can give. But in excess of 20 lakhs, that becomes taxable amount. The remaining amount, whatever it is there. Suppose, for example, he is getting around 20 lakh rupees, 25 lakh rupees as a gratuity. So 20 lakhs, it will be minus. So that means only another 5 lakhs will be there. That 5 lakhs will be taken into account as a salary income. So accordingly, tax liability also will be there. So up to 20 lakhs only, it is exempted. And earlier, this limit was 10 lakh rupees. And also before that, even 3.5 lakhs it was there. So this is the earlier period. Now it is a 20 lakh rupees. They have increased in the year 2018. By issuing a separate notification, they have increased the limit to 20 lakh rupees. And the gratuity, it is payable within 30 days from the due date. That means suppose if he has resigned today, he has been relieved from the services today. So today is what day? 29th. So by next month, 28th, they have to settle the gratuity of an employee. So 30 days time will be there. So to clear the gratuity of an employee. So within 30 days, so they have to pay the gratuity. Suppose he has not claimed any gratuity. The person who has retired from services, he has not come to the work at all, or he is not reporting for duty. In such cases, whatever the gratuity amount it comes, that you can send it along with the full and final settlement to the last known residential address. You can send it to them by reached post acknowledgement due. And if it reaches there, if he has acknowledged, it's well and good. So you can check from the bank whether the same has realized or not, and you can take out the print of the same thing if it is realized, and you can put it in the personal file for the future reference. Because normally auditors will be asking whether the amount has been paid or not. So you can keep one of the copy of the same in the personal file. And also if the payment is delayed, so employer is under the obligation to pay the interest. That is interest, whatever the simple interest is there, for the whatever the rate applicable in case of a SB account in the national company. So that interest you have to pay to the concerned employee if there is any delay. Suppose 1 year delay is there. So in such cases, these SB account rate of interest may be 7% or 6%. So whatever it is there, that will be calculated, and based on that, so the in addition to gratuity, they have to pay the interest to the concerned the employee. And also some of the forfeiture clause is also there. So that means even you can withhold the gratuity of an employee or cancel the gratuity. Forfeiture means cancellation of gratuity also can be done. Suppose if he has committed any misconduct of willful omission or negligence or causing damage, destruction of property, violence or disorderly conduct, charged with moral turpitude. In such cases, after conducting a due inquiry, you can also you can also take an action against the concerned the employee. That means you can initiate an action, but only thing is you have to issue a so-called call for explanation. And if the whatever the explanation given by him is the satisfactory, so then in such cases you can issue a notice to the concerned employee, and you can cancel the gratuity. So this is willful omission, negligence, causing damage to the property of the company, or destruction of a property, or violence or disorderly conduct, or charged with immoral turpitude. So that is in these circumstances, employer can issue the notice, and if all the charges have been proved in the inquiry, then again one more notice you have to issue to the concerned employee, enclosing the report and the findings of the inquiry. Then accordingly, you have to seek an explanation, and once it is done, then you can cancel the gratuity of an employee. But you have to giving a notice is mandatory requirement under the Act. And this is the simple formula for calculation of a gratuity. Calculation of a gratuity. Gratuity is equal to last salary drawn. That is basic plus DA only you have to take into account. Multiplied by 15 days. Multiplied by number of years of service rendered. So number of years of service rendered divided by 26 days. So why we are taking 26 means 30 minus 4 weekly hours. 30 or 31 days minus 4 weekly hours. That's why you'll be taking 26 days as standard one as per the Gratuity Act. Because earlier they used to take 30 days only. When the act was enacted in the year 1965, that time it was 30 days only. Subsequently, one of the person has the approach the court, and Supreme Court has given the judgment saying that so you have to minus whatever the weekly off is there. Accordingly, even the Gratuity Act also has been amended after the Supreme Court has given the judgment in Digvijay Mills versus and the Deputy Level Commissioner or the controlling authority. In that case, the Supreme Court has given the judgment. Then it becomes a law. Accordingly, so they will be paying the gratuity to the employee. That is the 15 days divided by 26 days. That means instead of taking 30 days, so you'll be taking the 26 days here, minusing the weekly hour. So this is, and also in by way of agreement, suppose if the workers union is there, they'll be negotiating with the management. In such cases, even the 15 days, whatever it is there, this is the minimum requirement to be there. Suppose if the management agrees to pay even 16 days wages or 18 days wages, 20 days wages, that can be paid by way of agreement. If they have agreed, both the parties have agreed. In such cases, even instead of 15 days, they can pay whatever the agreed days are there. They can also consider. And the 1 month means it is the 26 days. So will be the 1 month. And also we'll understand how we calculate the gratuity of an employee. So this is how the gratuity will be calculated. So this is one of the practical, the Excel sheet we have prepared. So far as this thing is concerned. Yeah, so this is on the gratuity calculation. Are you seeing the screen?
No, sir, it's not.
You are seeing the screen. You are seeing the screen, no?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so this
Yes,
is
sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, this is only practical the calculation how we calculate the gratuity, and there are three categories here. While calculating the gratuity amount, there are three categories. One is the regular employees, formula remains same only. And even the seasonal employee, formula remains same only. Seasonal employees and the piece rated employees. Piece rated employees. So these are the three categories of employees have been identified in the Payment of Gratuity Act. In case of a regular employee, so this is the formula. Last salary drawn multiplied by number of years of service rendered multiplied by 15 days divided by 26 days. So this is the calculation. So for example, suppose if a person is drawing 1 lakh rupees salary per month, so it will be multiplied by number of years of service rendered. Suppose if he has rendered 25 years, then so 25 years only you have to put it. Or if he has rendered only 30 years, then you can take 30 years. You can decide about you can calculate how many years of service he has rendered in the organization. Then for that, you have to multiply with the 15 days and divide by 26 days. So it comes to 17,30,700, but it is well within 20 lakhs only. Then this is the amount payable, 17,30,769 it comes. So this is the amount payable as a gratuity for the regular employees. Suppose if a person's gratuity is 1 lakh, person's salary is 1,50,000 rupees per month. So in such cases, the 1,50,000 multiplied by 30 days, 30 years of service multiplied by 15 days divided by 26 days. So 26 it is the common one. And amount it comes to 25,96,154. In this case, employer is under the obligation to pay only 20 lakh rupees. Suppose if they want to pay the in excess of 20 lakhs, if they are paying like a 5,96,154, if they are paying the extra amount to the employee, in such cases 5,96,154 is taxable income. That will be considered as a income from salary, and accordingly tax, whatever the tax slab is applicable, will be deducting the income tax. Even the central government and the state government is the same limit, 20 lakhs only even to them. So this was amended in the year 2018. So this is the calculation. Some of the companies they'll be agreeing for even when you are signing a unions, you are negotiating with the union, the management sometimes they'll be agreeing for even the 18 days. In such cases, the amount will go up. Even such companies are also there. Sometimes they'll be agreeing for 19 days. So it will go up automatically. But it should not be less than 15 days, 15 the days. It should not be at any point in time, it should not be less than 15 days, less than 15 days. Minimum 15 days is compulsory. So this is how the calculated, it will be calculated. So for the regular employees concerned. And the seasonal employee is concerned, formula remains same only. However, the number of days it differs. This is the number of days being considered in case of a number of days. So it is being considered. So this is the amount will be calculated. This is the number of days. That is, instead of 15 days, you will be taking 7 days only. Suppose seasonal employee his salary is around 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees. So in such cases, 1 lakh multiplied by how many years of service he has rendered. So 30 years. You take 30 years only. Multiplied by 7 days salary for a very completed service divided by 26. So amount it comes to 10,23,077. So this is the amount payable as a gratuity to an employee. And suppose if the 5 days working also will be there, 4 days working also will be there, or 6 days working will be there. Even in such cases, so there is no there is no change in the formula. Same formula you are using it even for them also, whether it is 5 days working or 6 days working or 7 days working, only those days only will be taken into account. That is the same formula being used even for the calculation of gratuity even to them. So this is for the seasonal employees. That is like a sugar industry or any food industry. So they'll be working only seasonal. Only particular season they'll be working. Late or after that they'll be closing the industry. So that is for the seasonal employees 7 days. Here regular employee 15 days. Here 7 days will be taken into account. In case of a seasonal employee, so we'll be taking average of 3 months. So this is the salary. So January, you might have got around the 80,000 rupees as a piece rate the salary. And February, you might have taken 95,000 rupees. And the March, so you might have taken 1,25,000 rupees. So this is the salary. So 3 months average, it comes to 1 lakh rupees. So this is the amount you have to take into account in case of piece rated workers. 1 lakh rupees you have to take into account, multiplied by how many years of service he has rendered, 30 years or 35 years or 38 years, that you have to mention, multiplied by 15 days only. There is no change in this, and divided by 26 days. The amount it comes to 20 lakh 19,231. So that is in excess of 20 lakhs only. That is 19,231 in excess of 20 lakhs. That's why 19,231 is taxable. Up to 20 lakhs it is exempted. No need to pay any income tax. So this is the calculation part. So for the gratuity is concerned, we can categorize into regular employee, seasonal employee, and the piece rate workers. So this is the calculation, actual calculation, practical calculation, how you are doing it. And also the other details are also there, like how you are going to calculate the gratuity and all that. That is within 30 days, you have to pay the gratuity. Suppose if you have made an application today, you have been relieved today. From today, within 30 days, the management is under the obligation to pay the gratuity to an employee. Suppose if they are delaying, then the simple interest, whatever the rate interest is applicable for the savings bank account, that percentage you have to take into account and pay the gratuity. And suppose after 30 days, so you are sent to a register post acknowledgement due, check you are drawn or the DD you are taken and send it to his residence address, last known address. Even in such cases, if it comes back, it is better you deposit this amount before the controlling authority, so that you can avoid the payment of interest. Suppose if it has not come after 30 days, the same amount can be deposited before the controlling authority, deputy level commissioner, and even in such cases, you can avoid the payment of the simple interest, whatever the interest it is there, because the amount you already deposited as per the requirement before the controlling authority, that is deputy level commissioner. So accordingly, you need not have to pay any interest in case of a delay in payment of the gratuity. Suppose after 2 years or 3 years, you'll be approaching the company. So the requesting the payment of gratuity. So in such cases, you can tell them, suppose if you have given a letter, you can tell them that you can submit the same application before the concerned authority, that is the controlling authority, that is the deputy level commissioner. So you can make an application before them to claim the gratuity. And also the other details are also there. Determination of gratuity. So that is so this I told you already. So within 30 days, you have to pay the gratuity to an employee. And also in case of any dispute, so dispute regarding the amount of gratuity, then controlling authority is the authority, that is the deputy level commissioner. And in Maharashtra, morning I was told that morning one of the student was telling, so they authorized the that is the labor code for determination of a gratuity. He is the authority. And also for the disputed case, an investigation shall be undertaken by the controlling authority. That means, suppose if any dispute is there, any confusion is there between the employer and also the company, in such cases, definitely the controlling authority can take a tour and make an investigation into the matter, and accordingly, you can arrive at the particular decision. And also, suppose if he is not happy with the decision passed by the controlling authority or the deputy commissioner, again, another 2 months time will be there to appeal before the concerned authority. They can appeal before the industrial tribunal or even the labor court. They can appeal in some of the state, and in some of the states it's not allowed in the labor court. They can directly approach the high court. So this is how the determination of gratuity will be done in an establishment. And also the insurance. So suppose if the company is having more than 500 employees, it is an option.
Not.
Hello?
So PPT is not.
Sorry.
Could you please check?
Yeah. So compulsory insurance. Suppose if the company is having more than 500 employees, so in such cases, so it is an option given to the employer to create a group gratuity trust. And group gratuity trust in turn, they can obtain a policy covering the employees under the group gratuity scheme. But it is an option given to the employer. But in Karnataka, they have made it mandatory. Very recently, they have issued a notification saying that suppose if the company is having 10 or more employees, it is mandatory on the part of the employer to obtain insurance policy, master policy from any of the insurance company. They have made it mandatory, but they have given the timings. So to create a trust. That means another 60 months time will be there. 60 days it was there. It was mentioned in the earlier edition. Now they made it as 60 months. Yeah, they made it as 60 months. Instead of 60 days, they have made it as 60 months now. They have very recently. Hello. Mute your audio, please. Okay. So 60 days time is there in Karnataka, and only in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, they're also having a notification. They have issued the notification, so making the companies to mandatory to obtain the to create a trust and also to pay the to obtain the policy, master policy from the insurance company. In other states, so it's not notified. It is an option given to the employer. If they want to go for a creation of a gratuity trust, group gratuity trust, then equal representation will be there. Trustees will be there from the employees, trustees will be there from the management side also. So both the persons, they'll be having their own trustee. So they can obtain a policy from many of the insurance company, but in turn, the whatever the gratuity trust has been created, company will be paying an amount to buy a policy that will be through group gratuity scheme only. So in such cases, so they can obtain a policy. The advantage of taking a policy means you have an option to avail the future service gratuity. That means you can, by paying additional premium, you can also if you are taking a MATA policy, and even till the life time, that is till the retirement, you can get the future service gratuity. For example, if a person joined at the age of 25 years and he has completed only 10 years of service, at the age of 35, he has died. So he has died. It may be natural death or the accidental death, whatever it may be, but he is died. He is no more, and the remaining of service also will be there for him. That is another, the 25 years, the period will be there. So that means 10 years 10 years gratuity also will be calculated. That is up to 35 years also existing service, they will be calculating. In addition to that, again from 35 to 60 years, whatever the 58 years or 60 years retirement is there, till such time they'll be calculating the gratuity. And the further they'll be taking a additional premium from the insurance company. In such cases, even till the lifetime, so till the retirement, the nominee can avail the benefit. So in addition to 10 years existing service, the remaining years of service also will be taken into account for payment of gratuity. That will be available only when you take the policy from any of the insurance company by paying a additional premium. Otherwise, it will not be considered. This is about the compulsory insurance. And board of trustees will be there from both the side, from the employee side and as well as the employer side. So they'll be meeting regularly to take a decision in this regard. And based on the minutes of the meeting, they'll be running the particular trust. So and also the whatever the gratuity is entitled for it. So through HR department, they can have to make an application before the group gratuity, the trust only, the gratuity trust only, and gratuity trust in turn they'll be submitting an application before the controlling authority, and then controlling authority will be considering it. And also the amendment. So these are the important amendments that have been taken place in the year 2018. So government has increased the limit from 10 lakh to 20 lakh rupees in the year 2018. And also this considering inflation and wage rate. So this was increased to central government also, government servants. And also the private sector, they also increased in line with the central government, the government employees. They also increased to private sector employees, so up to 20 lakh rupees. So this is the liability created on the employer. And in case of a female employee, so that is up to 26 days. So it will be taken into account in place of 12 weeks. So these are the amendments that have taken place in the year 2018. They have issued a special notification in this regard, the amending some of the clauses. So these are all the important amendments that have taken place in the year 2018. After that, there is no amendment. So same thing is even now it is going on. And also suppose if any of the employer fails to comply with the provisions, so in such cases there is a penalty clause also will be there. That is knowingly making false statements or false representation. In such cases, jail term will be there for 6 months, and the fine also will be imposed up to 10,000 rupees, or sometimes depending upon the seriousness, they can also impose fine as well as the jail term. Both also can be imposed. So this is for the violations by the employer. And also any contravention of the provision by the employer. So employer personally himself, if he has committed any of the offense, in such cases, imprisonment, jail term will be there from 6 months to 1 year will be there. 6 months minimum and maximum 1 year. So they can impose the jail term. And in addition to that, they can also impose a fine of up to 20,000 rupees, or even some of the seriousness, depending on serious offences committed by the employer, then they can impose both. So this is the penalty clause which is incorporated in the Payment of Gratuity Act. And also some of the forums will be using it. So this is all about the Gratuity Act, and some of the forums will also be using it. So this is one of the, these are the forums will be using it. So under the Payment of Gratuity Act as a statutory compliance. Yeah. So these are the forums we'll be using it. That is the Forum A, notice of opening. I told you already, I have opened and shown. So this you have to submit it once you cross it, 10 or more employees to the controlling authority. That is Deputy Level Commissioner, you have to submit it with the covering note. Forum B, this is the notice of change. Suppose if any change in the earlier notice, like a manager might have resigned and somebody might have joined. In such cases, you have to give a Forum B. So I share all these documents, you can go through leisurely. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time. And also the change of notice of closure, it will be there in Forum C. So when you want to close an establishment, you have to fill up this particular form, prescribed form. Then you have to submit along with the supporting document. Then they'll be issuing an endorsement for having closed the establishment. Form F, this is the nomination form, which I have shown earlier. Nomination form. So that is after 1 year, you have to take into account, take this nomination. However, there are chances that the HR department will forget. So that's why you'll be taking at the beginning of the, that will be starting on the first day itself, we'll be taking. One of the copy will be there in the induction kit, along with other nomination papers. At the Form I, this is the claim form. So we have to submit it before the authority, that is the HR department you can give. And same thing can also be forwarded to the trust if it is available. Otherwise, you can directly, the company only is responsible for payment of the gratuity. This will be filled up by the employee only. Application for gratuity by an employee. So he has to fill up all the details here, and he has to sign it and give it to the HR department so that gratuity can be recalculated and that can be dispersed. And they have to give a statement, name in full, address in full, and also which department is working, what is the post destination and the token number, what is the date of joining, another date and cause of termination of service, whether it is retirement or superannuation or voluntary retirement or any dismissal that you have to mention, total period of service, another amount of wages last done, that is basic plus DA only will be taken into account. Another amount of gratuity claim, also you can mention it here. What is the gratuity is entitled, and he has to sign this application and give it to the HR department. In turn, HR department, suppose if the company is having a group gratuity trust, so you can forward the same to them, and in turn they'll be sending the same form to the insurance corporation, so where you'll be getting the gratuity amount. So this is the form I, you have to submit it when you want to claim the gratuity. Like that, many more forms are there. And also one of the important, the abstract, you have to display it on the notice board. This is one such, the abstract, you have to display it on the notice board for the information of all the employees in English as well as the local language understood by the majority of the employees. So this is one such, the abstract you have to display in English as well as the local language, whether it may be Tamil, Kannada or Telugu or Hindi. So whatever the language, so they are using it. So in such cases, so it should be in English as well as the local language, and to display near the security office along with all other abstract. So this is the one you can also the display it on the notice board. Suppose since it is a big one, what you can do is you can take out this particular format in a A4 size and you can get it printed, spiral bind it, and you can tag it somewhere near the notice board. All the abstract. So there may be 10, 15 abstracts you have to display. In such cases, all those things you can spiral bind it and tag it somewhere near the notice board for the information of all the employees. So this is one of the abstract. So will be there under the Payment of Gratuity Act, where you have to inform the employees. So this is the one. So all the details are also there. And also any amendments have taken place. Even those things also have been mentioned when it was amended and all that. So these are the amendment details they have given. So you can go through the particular amendment. If you want to see this amendment, you can see only the labor law reporter or any gazette notification. So Google, you can search it. So you will be getting it. Or else you can write write to the labor law reporter. They'll be able to send this particular amendment. And also, in addition to all these documents, we also have to display one of the notice on the notice board, because the employees will not be knowing whom to approach. So suppose if they want to apply for a gratuity, in such cases, so that's why you have to display it on the notice board by mentioning who is the inspector and all that you have to mention it here. So this is one of the form you have to display it on the notice board. Person responsible to receive the notice on behalf of the employees under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972 and the rules framed thereunder. The name of the authorized person, you can mention it here. So who is the authorized person responsible to receive a notice? That is in the company you have to mention. You can mention the occupier or the factory manager or any operation you can mention. So then the destination and the address will be there here. And the contact person you can give. You can also write an email, and if you want to write even the mobile number, you can also write it, so that there will not be any confusion whom to approach in case the MIMT is not giving the gratuity. So this is one of the notice you have to display it in the notice board. These are all the mandatory requirements. So we have to display it in the notice board. So like that, many more forms are there under the Payment of Gratuity Act. I will just show some of the forms being used under the Payment of Gratuity Act. So this is the nomination I was telling you, Form F. Form I, application for gratuity by an employee. Another application for gratuity by a nominee. So you have to submit in the same format only. When you want to submit to the concerned authority, you have to submit submit it. So with the concerned authority, so in a same this one only. Two, 3 copies you can take it. One copy you can give it to the HR department. Another you can keep it in a trust. Another one more copy you can give to the insurance company. Form K, application for gratuity by a legal heir. That means nobody is there. No nomination has not been done by the employee. In such cases, you can ask for a legal heir certificate. That is the legal representative to receive the money due to the employee in case of death of an employee. And also notice, Form L, notice for payment of gratuity. When you want to pay the gratuity, you have to fill up this form, and you have to take a signature from the concerned employee, and you can pay the gratuity by using form number L. And a Form M, suppose if you want to reject the claim due to whatsoever reason, in such cases you have to mention the details here. What exactly the reason you wanted to mention, you can mention, and accordingly, so the form has to be fill it up and give the rejection claim to the concerned person. And also application for recovery of the gratuity. That means, so even employee can also make an application before the controlling authority, so to recover the gratuity from the employer. In such cases, suppose if the employer fails to pay the gratuity, in such cases, the controlling authority can issue a notification to the employer, and also that amount can be recovered as an arrears of land revenue. And if even after the releasing of an order, so that is the order by the controlling authority, if the company is not willing to pay the gratuity, in such cases they can approach the next level. Next level, that is the High Court, they can challenge in this particular Karnataka. Other states they might be having a other tribunal, industry tribunal or the labor court, and all that will be there, so they can file an application. And also the Form U, I told you, Form T. So this is the recovery of gratuity. So this will be filled up by the controlling authority for recovery of a gratuity. So they'll be doing it. Form U, I have already shown. This is the abstract being used. Formula, I have already shown. And even the gazette notification increase the gratuity from 10 lakhs to 20 lakh rupees. So they have also given here. This is one of the gazette notification issued by Government of India. So where the gratuity limit has been increased, enhanced. So this is the one. So you can see the details here. So they have mentioned here. So what is the amount extended? This is the notification. In exchange of the power conferred by class the 4 of the explanation to subsection 2 of the section Payment of Gratuity Act, the central government hereby specify for the purpose of said clause that the total period of maternity leave in the case of a female employee shall not exceed 26 weeks. This is for the maternity leave amendment. Like that, even the gratuity amount is also mentioned here. You can see the details here. So central government hereby specify that the amount of gratuity payable to an employee under the said act shall not exceed 20 lakh rupees. Earlier it was 10 lakh rupees, now it has been increased to 20 lakhs. So this is the notification issued by the government of the India. And so these are all the thing about the Gratuity Act. Now any queries are there, you can ask me now. Any queries on the Payment of Gratuity Act, you can ask me now. Is it clear?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Rajak.
Sir, can you explain again Form A, sir?
Yeah, Form A.
Yes, sir.
So once you cross the number of employees, so in such cases, we have to, number of employees mean 10 or more employees. In such cases, so you have to file an application before the controlling authority. So this is the Form A. So just a minute.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so this is Form A, notice
Yes,
of
sir.
opening. And here you have to fill up all the details. Once you complete, once you employ 10 or more employees, so within 30 days, you have to give a notice of opening to the controlling authority. That is the Deputy Labor Commissioner. Name and address of the establishment, name and destination of the employer, number of persons employed, maximum number of persons employed, so during the preceding 12 months, number of employees covered by the act, nature of industry, what they are into, what they are manufacturing, or what is the service being rendered, whether seasonal industry or non-seasonal industry, date of opening, and also details of head office or the branches. So that also you can mention, or you can suppose if you are having 20 branches, you can enclose the list also for this, and the employer will be signing this. The employer will be signing this thing and sending it to the controlling authority. That is Deputy Labor Commissioner. You can put for seal and the address seal here and send it to the, with a covering note, you can send it to the controlling authority. So is the controlling authority. You can address it here. Jurisdictional controlling authority, you can mention what is the Bangalore division number or region number, and the address you can write it and send it to them. We reach the post acknowledgement due, or else you can go personally and take the acknowledgement after submitting it. So this is one of the Form A. You have to submit it.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, in terms of tie-up with the insurance company, being an employer,
Yeah.
so how would the insurance premium payment, the number of employees based on their salary on basic plus
No, we
DA
have to
on how?
submit. We have to submit the details to them, like a name, date of
Okay.
birth, and this last salary drawn, and the date of joining, date of birth. All these details you have to furnish to the insurance company. They'll be having a separate the calculation method. That is called as the actuarial variation method. So they will be calculating and raising a demand to the employer.
Okay.
Yeah. So based on that, you have to pay.
Okay. So the claim amount going to pay the insurance company only. If the employees 5 or 6 members every year going to retire with a gratuity amount.
Yes, the insurance company will pay. In turn, every year the company has to pay the premium.
Okay.
Every year
So
they'll be
premium will be
calculating.
declared.
They will be raising a demand on the employer to pay the premium. So once they pay the premium, even all the employees retired from service, or in case of a death of an employee due to accident or some other untoward incident, in such cases, all these members, they'll be paying the gratuity from the insurance company only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, can
This can be part of CTC.
sorry, man. So that amount we can keep in another account for kept in the current account only, company current account.
No, you can create a separate this one group gratuity trust will be there, no? So trust you can keep the amount, and from the trust only you can obtain a policy from the insurance company.
Okay.
Company has to pay to the trust. Company has to pay to the trust. Trust in turn they'll be obtaining a policy from the insurance company. And if they want to cover by paying additional premium, if they want to pay the future service gratuity, that also can be done as a welfare measure. So nominee will be
Trust
getting
is a
the future
compulsory.
service gratuity.
Trust formation is a compulsory.
If the number of employees are more than 500, then it is an option given, not compulsory. It is an option given to some of the employer. However, some of the states they have issued a notification making it compulsory. Like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka, they have issued the notification. Even in Karnataka, it was not there earlier. Very recently, they have issued the notification saying that you have to create a trust, or if you are if you are already having a trust, it's okay, well and good. If you are not having a trust, then you have to create a trust and obtain a insurance policy from the insurance company. That's what they have released the notification. Yes, Rekha, you can make a part of CTC, but there is no hard and fast rule whether to take into account or not. So many of the companies, they are taking it as a part of CTC. But it's not mandatory. Whether to take or not,
Hi,
no
sir, I have
mandatory.
one more doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me.
See, this if employer only going to pay the gratuity amount, then it should be in show in HR budget also, right?
Yeah, if HR budget
Every
will not
year
be
we are
doing it.
showing the
Normally,
budget.
finance will be making a budget. Finance department, they'll be including this particular gratuity also in the account, in the books of accounts. They'll be making a provision. Yes, Rekha, you are asking something.
Actually, I just wanted to know if in CTC breakup can we show it and then we can deduct and pay to insurance
No, we should not.
for a year?
We cannot do that. You are not supposed to deduct any amount. So for the this one gratuity amount is concerned, you cannot show. It should not reflect in the gratuity the pay slip at all.
Okay.
It's not a
Because
permissible deduction.
we have seen some of the companies doing so.
That is illegal. If they are doing it, they have to report to the controlling authority.
Okay. Some of the payslips we'll see, we are able to see the candidate payslips like that. That's what I got it out. From company itself, we are paying it. Some of the companies we could see in CTC breakup.
No, it's not correct actually. So if they are doing it, it's illegal. They can report to the controlling authority if any such kind of a thing is being done. Yeah. Under the Payment of Gratuity Act, there is no annual return. So there is no annual return under the Payment of Gratuity Act. Only thing is, suppose if you obtained an insurance policy from any of the insurance company, in such cases, you have to send a details to them, to the insurance company, like a name and the name, father's name, date of birth, date of joining, the last salary drawn, all that you have to send it to them so that they can calculate the premium and they will raise a demand to the company to pay, or to the trust, they'll be raising a demand. Otherwise, there is no annual return. Yeah, any other questions?
Sir, some of the companies, after getting amount from LIC only, they were paying. Sometimes they were crossing 1 month period. Is it correct, sir?
No, they have to pay within 30 days. Suppose if your person has been relieved from today, so that means within 30 days they have to pay the gratuity. If they're not paying within 30 days, then they have to pay simple interest. Even the LIC also they have to pay simple interest if they're delaying it.
Sir, if a seasonal employee worked more than, suppose he rendered service for 10 years, in that 5 years he worked for more than 240 days and remaining 5 years he worked for 120 or 150 days. In this case, how to calculate gratuity, sir?
In seasonal employees cases, this question does not arise. So that will be considered a full year only. Even if they are working for 6 months, 6 months and another 6 months, so they'll be the seasonal. That means they'll be at home. In such cases, this number of days will not be taken into account in respect of seasonal employees.
But consultants are called as seasonals. Can you add them in seasonal?
Which one?
Consultants.
Consultant, they cannot be considered as a seasonal. They are not on the rolls of the company. If they are coming regularly, to the company, only in such cases that will be considered as that can be considered for payment of gratuity. Otherwise, that cannot be considered as a you cannot be considered as a regional employee or regular employee. Suppose if he is coming every day like a regular employee, then the service will be counted for payment of gratuity. Otherwise, it will not be considered.
Even for people who cross 60?
There is no limit under the Payment of Gratuity Act. Even if a person is 80 years, so there is no mention about this age under the Payment of Gratuity Act. As per the terms of employment, whatever the order of appointment says about the retirement age, that will be the final. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, for me, one question, sir. Sir, for piece rate employers necessary to pay the gratuity, sir. My question is in that whether we are paying for a piece rate only, but how do we pay the gratuity amount, sir? It is from basic pay or any other amount, sir.
So you can split into basic pay and DA. See, suppose if he is
Okay,
getting around 1 lakh rupees, so in that whatever the minimum is you are paying, no? So whatever the minimum is you are paying, it should be much more than that only. Suppose if the minimum is 15,000 rupees, if he is getting
Okay,
1
sir.
lakh rupees as a piece rate, so in such cases,
Okay.
you can make it a 30,000 or 40,000 as a basic plus DA, and accordingly you can calculate the gratuity.
Okay, sir. I'm from Tirupur area, sir. Here we consider only the piece rate employers, also known as company shift employers. They won't
Okay.
show the piece rate employers in the audit fields itself. So that's why
Okay.
sir they are hiding the piece rate employers. There is
They should
any
not hide actually. They should not hide. They have to show correctly. They are not supposed to hide anything.
okay. So they are also having the everything gratuity, everything in the we also paying a piece rate also.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
They
sir.
are entitled for a gratuity. They are
Okay,
entitled for
okay.
a gratuity. Only thing is they can split the amount. Suppose
Okay.
total per month if he is getting 50,000 rupees. So out of
Okay.
50,000 rupees, you can split it into different components.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
basic
sir.
pay, DNS allowance, HRA, all that you can fix it separately. But ensure that
Okay,
you
sir.
are paying much more than minimum is.
Okay, sir. And what is the difference, sir? What is the difference between the normal employee and the piece rate? Everything is same, but we are providing the P as per piece rate. For normal employee, we are providing a basic pay, right, sir?
That is the only difference because in the piece rate wages, there is a chances to earn more. If they produce more, they'll be getting more salary. But in the regular
Okay.
employee's case, it is not like that. It is a fixed salary being paid to the employee.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is the
Okay.
only difference.
Sir, contract employees don't come under this gratuity act,
Even the
sir?
contract employees are also entitled for a gratuity. And in such cases, contractor is under the obligation to pay the gratuity to him. In turn, as per the terms of the agreement, they can claim the gratuity from the company if it is provided in the agreement. Otherwise, suppose if any person has completed more than 5 years under the contract, then contractor is under the obligation to pay the gratuity to the contract labor.
In
The
this
contract will be
case,
for 11 months or so. No, it will not be,
No, many
it will
of
not
the
be.
companies are having, they'll be working for 10 years, 15 years and 20 years. Even now the people are working. It's not like say, 11 months and 12 months and all that. It's not like that. They'll be keep on working.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
The contractors are, for example, after 4 years or 4.5 years, they are changing their contractor names because of this gratuity.
It will be considered a sham contract, fake contract. In such cases, definitely the contract labor can approach the controlling authority. They can make a claim, and they'll be issuing a notice to both the parties if that is the case. As you said, many of the companies are doing it. What they'll be doing is they'll be changing the name of the contract, but the person will be there, person same only, but they'll be keep on changing the name. So name of the company, so that they can avoid some of the liabilities. But it's
So
not.
who is the controlling authority?
DSC, Deputy Labor Commissioner. In Maharashtra, it's the Labor Code.
In South side Telangana.
Almost all it's DLC only. Deputy Labor Commissioner from the Department of Labor only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were changing PF code, ESI code, establishment codes, and date of joining also they were changing, sir. Once
they can change anything they want, but if they are there in the same location, same factory, with the multiple contractors, still he is entitled for a gratuity. He may be having a 3-4 contracts. He might have worked in 5 years. Suppose if he has completed more than 5 years in the same company, same establishment, then he is entitled for a gratuity, irrespective of whether he is there for 1 year or 6 months in one contractor, 2 years in another contractor. It does not matter. He can file an application. He can file an application before the controlling authority if the contractor is failed to pay the gratuity.
The contractor is terminated any employees because of this gratuity. What about this in this case?
If the contract is terminated, the employee should contract labor also should not be there. If they are continuing with the other contractor, then so you have to consider consider the services.
In this case, a gratuity amount either by
It will be paid with the contractor only. Contractor only, but only thing is
changing.
Change the contractor. They'll be normally they'll be having a clause in the agreement itself saying that you'll be covered. You have to govern by the Payment of Gratuity Acts and all that. They'll be mentioning the agreement. This is an agreement itself. When they're entering into contract or the agreement, they'll be mentioning one of the clause saying that so you have to pay gratuity as per the promise of the Payment of Gratuity Act. In such cases, definitely, so the contractor has to pay. And if any reimbursement clause is there in the agreement, accordingly, company has to reimburse the proportionate amount to the contractor.
Okay, sir. Thank
you. Yeah. Any other questions?
Sir, I have a question. Yes,
yeah.
sir. Sir, I have a question regarding of the nominee. If the employee mentioned the nominee, his wife, and after some time he divorced and he got expired, he did not update about his nominee person name. In that case, what is the solution if his brother will ask for the gratuity amount? So, what is the solution if those parents are alive?
In such cases, you can ask for the legal heir certificate, which is issued by the court. So he has to make an application before the court saying that I am the legal heir and I am entitled for a gratuity. He has to make an application before the court. Court will pass an appropriate order based on the legal heir certificate produced by any person. So you can make a payment as a company, or as a company, or as a gratuity trust. Legal heir.
Legal notice.
Legal heir.
Notice.
Legal heir certificate. That is called as a legal heir certificate in the absence of any nominee. That can be obtained by making an application before the court, jurisdictional court. So court will be issuing a certificate to them saying that he is the legal heir to get the benefit in case of death of an employee.
And one more question, sir, is related. Like if he mentioned the wrong spelling of the nominee person name in the when he is filling the form, na. So at the time of when he withdraw the amount of the gratuity, so what kind of type of hurdles he can face if he mentioned the wrong spelling in the name of nominee person?
In such cases, you have to go with the Aadhaar card. That is the authenticated document being considered. In such cases, with the help of the Aadhaar card, they have to make an application before the bank to correct the name, or even to the company. They can make an application and they have to file an affidavit along with the Aadhaar card. Then they can make a correction, and accordingly you can make a payment.
So,
It's
okay,
always-
means he have to, yes, he have to take care when he writing the name of the nominee person. Otherwise, if the nominee person will face the problem when he will drawing the amount.
Correct,
For
correct.
that, sir, for that as an HR, we have to validate the nominee name as per his Aadhaar, right?
Correct, correct. You are right. It is
Yes.
always advisable to take Aadhaar as a base, even for the ESI, Provident Fund, gratuity, whatever it may be. Take the Aadhaar card of the family member or the nominee, then you can update. Then it
Yes.
will be authenticated, the document is available. And accordingly, even the bank account also should be like that only.
Validated.
Validation, yes. So they can do it. Ensure that you take the Aadhaar card. Whatever the name reflected in the Aadhaar card, same details you have to mention in the bank account, and also even in the company, or when you are getting a salary, anywhere. So it should be in line with the Aadhaar card name only.
In this case, when a married girl, they are changing the names in their Aadhaar card and all. So what can we do, sir, in this?
No, suppose if you change the Aadhaar card name and other, if you are changing it, they have to give an affidavit, they have to publish it in the newspaper, and they have to change the name and they have to publish it in the newspaper with the paper cutting, and also the by collecting the copy of the affidavit along with the Aadhaar card, you can change the name. There is certain procedure is available in the code where it has to be notified in the paper also, newspaper, where there is a wide circulation, local newspaper they have to publish, and with that copy you can apply. You can get the Aadhaar card, Aadhaar name change. So then accordingly you can take the document and you can update the whatever the name it is there, so that you can update in all the records like a PF, ESI, or gratuity, or Practice Act nomination, Payment of Age nomination, all that can be done.
Sir, in case of married employee, the nominee has to be, is it better to take it as spouse or how is it?
No,
Is
spouse in the sense, see, for the husband, wife will be the spouse. For wife, husband will be the spouse.
Okay. So is that mandate or is it optional, sir? Whether he can
It is
update
optional.
it?
It is optional.
Okay. Future, there will not be any complication in case.
There will not be
if
any
parents
complication. In case any complication comes, ask for the
Hmm.
legal age certificate.
Okay.
Yeah. But whatever the gratuity it comes, no, after instead of keeping in the company, it is always advisable to remit the same to the controlling authority, so that you can avoid the interest. Whatever the interest it is there, you can avoid.
Okay.
Because your responsibility ceases once the amount is remitted to controlling authority. Controlling authority means deputy level commissioner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, and one more question, not about the subject.
Yeah.
Sir, we are keeping openings for everyone, but not Chennai people.
No, in Chennai also I am sharing multiple vacancies.
Very less. We can only see in Bangalore.
See, whatever the requirements are coming in, I'll be keep sharing. Whether it is Andhra, Telangana, Bangalore is more, as you said, Bangalore is more. Because I'm basically from Bangalore, so naturally Bangalore location, more vacancy will be there.
Chennai also you look into it, sir.
Yeah, I'll share.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll
Thank
share.
you very much. We are just looking for opening. I'm just looking out actually if any openings are there.
Okay.
We are ideal actually. I would be joining.
Fine. Okay, any other questions before concluding?
Yes, sir, I'm having a question.
Yes,
Sir, sir, for other employees, government fixed some minimum wages, sir. For like the piece rate employees also having the any piece rate for fixed piece rate. For this piece, we have to give this amount like that. Any custom, sir?
No, it varies from product to product. No, each company will be having their own product. They cannot fix the
Yeah,
rate
sir.
like that. So that's why
Okay.
so it is all based on the agreement between the concerned piece rate worker and the employer. So that can be decided. So not
Okay,
by the government. Government also has got the power to fix the piece rate wages or the timely rate wages and all that, but they will not be
Okay.
doing it because each company will be having their own product, different product. So they
Okay,
cannot
sir.
fix the rate wise wages for all the product. So lakhs together products are there. They cannot fix like that. They will not be
Okay,
able
sir.
to fix
But
it.
we having more number of contractors, sir, but their contractors not like under the we company. They are contractors in a something different names. So they are one contractors having 15 to 20 employees. Sir. They not directly come under the company, sir. That's why I'm asking, sir, whether you have to provide a gratuity for them also.
See, if any person is working in the company, any contract labor is working in the company, if he has completed more than 5 years of service, and each year if he has completed 240 days of service, then he is entitled for a gratuity, no doubt about it.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so this is all for the day. And any questions are there, you can chat with me or you can ping me in the WhatsApp. Whenever the time permits, I'll be answering all your questions. Again, we'll meet on Wednesday. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good night, sir. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.